when we speak about women who are ready, available, and ripe for polygyny, what type of woman is polygyny not for? I'm speaking in a legitimate sense, you know, not because she's a jealous person or a backbiting person or, you know, uncooperative, but legitimately, what type of woman should not engage in polygyny, you know, under your advisal?
Well, brother, I got to be blunt with you, man. I mean, if she's alive, she's right for polygyny. I asked myself that some time ago, and I tried to go through the different scenarios. What if she's ill? What if she's crippled? What if she has a fatal illness? What if she says, well, my man and I are happy being monogamous? There's going to always be some scenario that I found that's going to present itself over the course of a couple's life or over the course of a single woman's life that calls for polygyny. And the more I try to get away from that, actually affirming that theory, the more I began to affirm it.
For everyone of sound mind and body, or maybe even not, polygyny is the way to go.
Well, yeah, especially if you're a woman who is having trouble finding a man. The fact that polygynous men are more likely to marry women who are in a less than ideal situation. That's just how we are. You know, we're always trying to save the world in the first place, because that's why we believe in polygyny. But if a woman has a child, if she has like a 10-year-old child and she's been without a man for say 3 years, we know good and well that most of those women ain't celibate. So instead of her watching her degrade herself, okay, if she's attractive and if she's into you as a man, she knows you have a woman, then she needs to engage in polygyny, even if she says no. That's what is needed. And civilization moves according to what is needed.
So let's speak about what do we say for the men?
Okay, the type of men that do not need to engage in polygyny are men who have absolutely no plan for themselves and or their family. Now, you may be a good guy, generally a good guy, but you may not have reached that stage of maturity yet. Okay? And if you, for instance, if you have no job, but you're attracting women, I mean, I've been in this position before, and you're attracting women, then you need some kind of plan at least, because the women will respect that if you got a plan. What if you make a lot of money? What if you're making, 6 figures? But you're still vying for pseudo-monogamy. You may have a noble reason for wanting monogamy. I mean, maybe you were raised that way. But if you're making that kind of money, first of all, women see that you know how to conduct your business, at least if it's a 9-to-5 job, even if it's not your own business. They're going to be attracted to you. And you need to do something about that. You need to either constantly, for the rest of your life, stave off all these women, fighting them off with a stick, or you need to engage in polygyny. Okay? So I'm talking about these men who are just overall good guys, but they're in a less than ideal situation or a mode of thought.
Okay, what do we do about the women who say they're willing to engage in polygyny, but they don't want it to be a public affair? They don't want their family members to know. They don't want their co-workers to know, so forth and so on.
That's fair. That's fair. When you're in a hostile environment, you don't need to let your enemies know, hey, everybody, I'm over here. Remember, it's economic warfare strategy. And you do need to be strategic. But that's fair. Like me, I'm pretty open with mine. I mean, everybody knows how I feel about polygyny. So, I don't care. But you don't necessarily need to broadcast it. But, if you happen to say it in a regular conversation, sure. But if you are on a 9-to-5 job, you're out and you're still kind of living on that plane of existence, that should be honored if she requests that.
Okay, so that shouldn't be something that one should feel offended about.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Oh.
Okay. She's not disrespecting your manhood or your leadership by requesting that, you keep the family out of danger. That's what you're supposed to do as a man, is protect your family.
Now, when a woman is looking for a family to join, what are some of the things that she should look for, not just in the man, but in the family overall?
The man and his wife, the woman he already has, they should genuinely get along. Okay, if a potential consort comes in and she sees that they fighting like cats and dogs, that's not good. She needs to pull back on her application. She needs to let them keep that and then shred the application, because that doesn't go in the slush pile, because those are still potentials.
Right.
They need to shred that application because they can't even get along. And, you know, polygyny is not really this big cosmic event. It really is very plain and simple. You have to be able to get along. In fact, I would say that's the primary issue first. Not so much, hey, we're all gung-ho and experts on polygyny. You may not be. You may be starting off where everybody's ignorant of polygyny. You just know that all these women like the same dude and the women get along. That's all you know. And a lot of marriages, poly marriages, start off like that, where nobody in the group knows anything about poly. Okay? But she has to look for that. How well do they get along? In fact, when they are not getting along, if they do have a dispute, how is it handled between the two? And how does the man, assuming he only has one other consort, how do they handle it individually? Okay? She needs to watch for, let's say, if they have a disagreement, is the man's consort talking to the potential consort in a negative fashion about him? That's a sign. That's a bad sign. That's a red flag. Because even when you are in disagreement with something your spouse does, that doesn't mean you degrade them and run and you throw them under the bus. That's not fair, and again, that's unjust. And you don't commit unjust acts towards your spouse. In fact, I would go as far to say it's a sign of immaturity on the part of the two spouses. And this from the outside looking in, if the potential consort sees that as a man, he shouldn't be talking bad against his woman, especially to the potential consort. Oh, well, don't be ranting and raving and all that. Don't do all that. Right. Because you lack control, too, and you have a temper, and that's bad. I mean, everybody has a temper when necessary. I mean, sometimes you got to go there in order to defend or in order to correct, again, injustice. But just on a regular basis, something happened you didn't like, you shouldn't be like snapping like that.